And I don't know, it just seemed logical to me. I try to break the thickening up because I'm assuming that's limiting her symptom, limiting her range of motion. So I massage it, and all of a sudden, next day she comes back and it's like black and blue. It really looks bad. And the owner of the company comes to me, pulls me in the room, and says, "Don't you ever do that again. If you're going to massage, you just massage the surface. It's just supposed to feel good. We're really not trying to accomplish anything. It's just, you're just kind of doing something to make the person feel gratified." And so I go back to Kathy, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you. Does it hurt?" And she says, "Don't tell anybody this, but I can move my knee more than I ever have before. I can move it 30, 40 degrees more. I want you to do it again." I'm like, "You crazy? Did you see what it looks like?" And she's like, "I'm telling you, I'm the patient. I want you to do that again." Well, I massage it out, and over the period of time I treat this lady, she ends up being pain-free, fully functional, no symptom. And so I kind of now I went back to school at 30 years old. This was a second career for me, so I'm a little older. I had a lot of life experience. I had some logical understanding. So my attitude was, if no one's around to tell me what to do, I'm going to just try and do it on my own and figure it out. I'm going to do whatever I think I should be doing. So things started just falling into place. And I'll give you like one of the whoppers, the things that I guess I have taken this on to such an emotional level because of the fact that as a result of, certainly the PBS special and some of these books, like this last book actually was published by Hay House, which is the second largest publisher in the world. The book is actually published here, Canada, England, Australia, and India, and South Africa. So I'm actually getting emails not just nationally now, I get them internationally. And people are desperate, and they are writhing in pain, and they are losing their lives because of surgeries they never needed. And they get these surgeries for all the wrong reasons. A guy like me, within 30 seconds, I can tell you based on the physical presentation what the cause of your symptom is. And to know that those symptoms tell you without any hesitation it was a muscle and that person got a surgery. And you have to understand that the post-surgical symptoms of pain and swelling will decrease weight bearing. If the cause of your pain was a muscle and you cause decreased weight bearing, the muscle weakens. And then eventually when you try to get up again, you're going to be in more pain. That's what you hear from the patients that get surgery. They're actually in the same, if not greater, pain. That's the reason. It's not magic. It's not that 2013 story that somehow the brain is just eliciting pain without any cause. It's not a stimulus. It's just happening. In, I believe it was 2013 is when they did that. Maybe 2011 when they did that magical study where it was the National Institute of Medicine that said that there's 126 million people in the United States suffering from chronic pain. It costs $635 billion, right? It was during that, their answer to why it's gone from 70 billion to 635 billion in 9 years is because people have been in pain for so long that their brains are now shooting off pain signals without a stimulus. It's not from a tissue. So their answer to this was the way to resolve your pain now is just medication and psychotherapy. And this is some of the most, this is the National Institute of Medicine. So Oz, in responding to this, gets 3-4 pain management doctors out there trying to say, yeah, man, yeah, it's popping off, man. You ain't gonna fix this, Go to these guys, pain management, that's your answer. And as of right now, 22 million people in the United States suffering from addictive medication. They're addicted. 22 million. This is real. These are real numbers. I meet them all the time. I've been here and I've had to work with a woman who for over 10 years has not been able to go up a flight of stairs. 10 years. She has to hold on like she's holding on for her life because her legs collapse out under her. And everyone just told her, somehow she found her way to a chiropractor who had her. Now, here's her story. The pain's here, the inner knee, and every time you go up a flight of stairs, this is what you would see. The knee is caving in. She somehow, through the magic of medicine, ended up at a chiropractor and ends up getting decompression of her spine for, $3,000. For What does that even mean? And I always dig in. I really need to understand how you get there. How'd you get there? They did an MRI, found some structural variations in her spine, some arthritic change, and maybe a little spondylolisthesis. Oh no, the answer to your inability to keep your weight supported in your knee was that it's coming from your spine. When all the evidence is, as she goes to put the foot up, her knee collapses in. Now, from a biomechanical perspective, why do you have a skeleton? What's the purpose of your skeleton? Your skeleton, in this particular case, is it acts as a post. Your muscles apply force to the post to allow you to manipulate against the post. When that foot collapses, where's the post? Where's the ability to create a vertical force that's going to allow her to rise? There ain't no vertical force, so she don't rise. And then that inward push is causing the muscles that are trying to support the inner aspect of the knee to strain, and that's why her medial calf and hamstring are dying. So what would you think was the cause of that? Anyone have an idea? What's responsible for keeping your knee over your ankle and in line with your hip? What muscle? What? Home run. That is correct. She has devastatingly weak glute means. And that's what happens. So wouldn't it have been helpful for someone to kind of watch her walk? To watch her go up the stair? To understand the mechanism by which she's having her symptom? Wouldn't that be a kind of positive idea? Something maybe to look at? That's what you have to do. So, I've now given you the half of why you have to completely abolish the MRI as the mechanism. And people are coming to you. I understand that they come with prescriptions. Personally, I don't give a shit. I really don't care. I'm not interested. I'm interested in that poor person who's suffering, writhing in pain, walked in your door, looking you in the eye, and saying, help me, help me. I want my life back. That's what they're asking for. So I want you to start, and this is what I'm promoting, and within this 2017, I'll have my first certification program to get you to fully become entrenched in the method, but I'm going to give you the theoretical basis of the method. Why do people have pain? First off, start with this concept. What is pain? Why does the body give off pain? What do you think? Well, if you're having a heart attack, what do you get? Pain. Where? Specific. Chest, left arm. It's quite specific, right? That doesn't mean you broke your ankle, right? It doesn't mean you have a contusion at your shin. That symptom represents a specific cause, a tissue in distress, right? You suddenly go numb on your side, you can't raise your arm, you can't speak. That is a set of symptoms that represent a specific tissue in distress, your brain, right? You see the way it works? So the premise of the Yass method is that we are going to interpret the body's presentation of symptoms to be able to identify what tissue is eliciting the symptoms so that the distress of that tissue can be resolved. Do you treat pain? Should you be treating pain? Pain is a signal of a tissue in distress. You don't treat pain, you treat the distressed tissue. I want you to start thinking about pain. It's the body's emergency mechanism. The shortest, you're in trouble. Your body's in trouble. Something's wrong. And pain is the body's attempt to immediately make you acknowledge something's wrong. I need an intervention. That's why you have pain. And it can be altered sensation as well. But the symptom is indicative of a tissue in distress. Your job is to understand what tissue it is. Do you think that bone, muscle, or nerve elicit symptoms exactly the same? Does it always elicit it? It's exactly the same. I don't know. I have pain. I can't tell what it is because I can identify a separate tissue. No, they're quite specific. And I'll explain to you how to do it. So the first step to understand is that pain is an indication of a tissue in distress. Your job is responsible to identify what tissue is in distress, resolve the distress of the tissue, thereby needing the need for the emergency signal to stop, to cease, and bam, it's over. You don't have symptoms anymore, right? That's the first step. Now, the next step. Why do people generally have pain? Why do people have pain? Is it because you have a herniated disc, stenosis, arthritis, or any of that kind of crap? Well, that would be silly to say because 90% of the population over the age of 60 have those and don't have pain. Right? So that doesn't make any sense. Here's the magic answer, one word. Gravity. Gravity is why we have pain. We live in a gravity environment. And as a result, everything we do from the moment we get up in the morning is against gravity. Therefore, forces must be created to work against gravity, or you don't get off the floor, right? So, if we accept that, then what we're saying is that groups of muscles must work together as mechanisms to allow us to perform our activities. The Yass theoretical basis can be broken down to one equation. Force requirements of activities, force output of muscles. If the force output of the muscles is greater than the force requirements of the activity, you do the activity and you don't ever have a symptom. If the force requirement of the activity is greater than the force output of the muscle, you will break down, something will strain, you will have pain. Okay? Something you've never heard of, right? Never heard of this concept. I assume it's somewhat different. No one's telling you the cause of most people's pain is gravity, but it is. So, we can look at the first step that you want to do in diagnosing, which is determine, is this something you can fix, or do you have to send the person to a orthopedist or a neurologist? So the first step in the methodology is to determine, is there a structural cause or a muscular cause? Okay? So